Welcome back to Trending Farm. Did you know that in Texas alone, farmers and wildlife managers cull more than 2.6 million wild boars annually? And farmers in Poland and Spain are asking, how do farmers safely capture, transport, and dispose of these resilient animals to protect both their land and their economies? Find out in this latest farming documentary. The story of transporting and processing wild boar meat across countries begins with trapping wild boars.
We used 3/16 thick angle iron, 2-inch.
The process of setting wild boar box traps involves placing large, reinforced metal enclosures, typically 6x4 feet with a height of 3 to 4 feet, equipped with bait and trigger mechanisms to safely capture the animals. These traps have gained popularity in both rural and urban areas due to their humane and efficient design, allowing for controlled transport without injuring the boars. In states like Texas, Florida, and California, where wild boar populations exceed 2 million, box traps account for nearly 60% of capture methods. Farmers must position traps near active rooting zones, use corn or fermented grain as bait, and ensure regular monitoring to minimize stress to the animals. Additionally, traps should feature 14-gauge wire mesh and escape-proof doors to withstand the strength of boars weighing up to 250 pounds. Have you ever wondered how wild boars are transported back to the farm after a successful trap? While making this farming documentary, we learned from local farmers about the various ways in which they can load and unload wild boars from traps to farms. David, a wild boar farmer in the area, said that for large traps, they will set up walkways leading directly from the traps to the transport truck. For smaller traps and smaller wild boars, they may load them directly into the truck in a manual manner. He noted that, either way, the most important factor to consider is to avoid injuring and scaring the wild boars, which can lead to poor health when they are returned to the farm. In areas like Texas and Eastern Europe, thermal imaging technology is even used at night to reduce the agitation of wild boars during loading. Adding another layer of insight, the process is as much about animal welfare as it is about efficiency. Such advances redefine how modern livestock farming adapts to manage wild, powerful animals. As you can see in this farming documentary, wild boar farms in Eastern Europe are designed to accommodate the natural behaviors and strong needs of wild boars, requiring less complexity than domestic pig farms. Unlike pigs, wild boars are more independent and need large spaces to roam, so farms are often less intensive. Typically, wild boar farms require at least 10 acres of land for 100 animals, providing enough space for them to dig, forage, and engage in natural behaviors. These farms prioritize low-impact management, focusing on simple structures and minimal infrastructure, reflecting the semi-wild nature of wild boars and requiring lower operating costs than the high-maintenance systems used for domestic pigs. Free-range conditions are essential for wild boar farming, promoting natural behaviors like rooting and foraging. The soil should be loose, well-drained, and free from chemicals, with studies showing that wild boars require at least 10 to 15 acres per 100 animals to thrive. According to the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, maintaining a natural environment helps reduce stress and enhances boar health. Boars also need access to fresh water, typically from ponds or streams, and can swim, which aids in cooling and natural behavior. Grazing time is best during early morning or late afternoon, as boars are most active during cooler periods. In Poland, wild boar farms use expansive forest areas for grazing, while in China, more controlled systems with smaller enclosures are common, focusing on crop-based feeding to meet meat demand. The diet of wild boars is diverse and adaptable, driven by their omnivorous nature. From an objective perspective, wild boars are opportunistic feeders, consuming a wide range of foods including roots, fruits, seeds, small mammals, and even carrion. Studies show that they can consume up to 5 to 7% of their body weight daily, foraging throughout the day and night. The European Food Safety Authority EFSA notes that wild boars typically feed on natural vegetation. But they can also be attracted to crops like corn and wheat, causing significant agricultural damage. Subjectively, farmers and conservationists in this farming documentary may see boars' eating habits as both a problem when they raid crops and a benefit when they help with pest control and seed dispersal. boar diets in farms often consist of fermented grains, vegetables, and roots. Designed to simulate their natural foraging while ensuring nutritional balance for optimal growth. Wild boar meat is known for its rich, distinctive flavor, often described as leaner and more gamey compared to domesticated pork. Due to its varied diet of plants, small animals, and roots. The meat has a darker color, typically ranging from deep red to dark brown, and is lower in fat but higher in protein, making it a healthier alternative for consumers. Wild boar meat is highly prized in Europe, particularly in countries like Italy, Germany, and Spain, where it is used in traditional dishes such as wild boar ragu, sausages, and stews. In Eastern Europe, countries like Poland and Hungary also consume significant quantities, often in rustic, slow-cooked preparations.
Наше мясо.
In the farming documentary, the meat is typically processed through hunting and controlled culling, then carefully aged to enhance its flavors. Due to its low fat content, wild boar meat requires careful cooking to avoid drying out, often best suited for slow roasting or braising.
The cattle industry in Texas plays a crucial role in the U.S., where ranchers raise millions of cattle across the state's vast grasslands. Texas has a long history of cattle farming, stretching over 300 years. Thanks to its favorable climate and large grazing areas. Cattle ranchers in Texas, often referred to as cowboys, maintain the traditional practice of raising cattle, a symbol of the state's agricultural heritage. Cowboys are known for their distinctive appearance, wearing wide-brimmed hats, boots, and leather chaps as they manage herds across expansive landscapes. The state is home to 11 million of the 35.8 million calves born annually in the U.S., with the popular Angus breed grazing on the vast Texas grasslands. These ranchers manage 130 million acres dedicated to cattle grazing, which accounts for 21% of the nation's total grazing land. This traditional yet extensive approach supports Texas's position as a leading cattle-producing state, deeply influencing the nation's meat supply. An important aspect of calf management is branding, which plays a vital role in livestock production. Branding, often done through hot iron branding or cryogenic branding, is used to mark calves for identification. A method still widely used on many Texas ranches is hot iron branding. They leave a permanent mark by burning the skin. This is arguably the oldest and most traditional method of branding still in use today. This process is essential because it helps ranchers identify their cattle, especially when herds graze on large common lands and may mix with other herds. Without proper branding, it can be difficult to differentiate between cattle, leading to significant financial losses. Worried that this will hurt your little ones? Don't worry, Texas farmers have research materials that minimize harm to cattle and are closely monitored by veterinarians. We must say that Texas farmers care about the welfare of their cattle. In Texas, calf care is a meticulous process to ensure the health and profitability of the animals. Calves typically weigh between 60 and 80 pounds at birth and stay with their mothers for the first 3 months before being weaned. In addition to branding, calves are vaccinated against disease, and regularly roaming Texas rangelands helps develop their muscles and immune systems. The combination of branding, vaccinations, and free range helps build the foundation for a healthy, ready-to-sell herd that contributes to the success of the Texas livestock industry. The process of feeding and transporting livestock is a critical part of operating a successful cattle food factory. In Texas, cattle are primarily grazed on vast grasslands, but are often supplemented with corn and grain to enhance meat quality. This balanced diet ensures the cattle grow strong and healthy, ready for processing. Once cattle reach maturity, typically between 2 and 3 years of age, ranchers round them up using horses or even helicopters to prepare them for transport. Specialized livestock trucks, designed to ensure safety and reduce stress, are used to move the animals to the food factory. Reducing stress during transport is essential to maintaining high-quality meat, as it directly impacts the condition of the cattle upon arrival. This combination of efficient feeding practices and careful transportation forms the backbone of any well-managed cattle food factory, ensuring the production of premium beef. In Texas, farmers not only raise beef cattle but also engage in the harvesting of milk from dairy cows, contributing significantly to the state's agricultural output. With approximately 1.7 million dairy cows, Texas ranks among the top states in milk production, yielding around 15.1 billion pounds of milk annually. The harvesting process begins with milking, which typically occurs twice a day using advanced milking machines that ensure efficiency and hygiene. After milking, the milk is quickly cooled and transported to processing plants where it is pasteurized and packaged. A variety of products are made from this milk, including cheese, butter, yogurt, and ice cream. In 2020, Texas produced about 2.5 billion pounds of cheese, making it one of the leading states in cheese production. This combination of high-quality milk and innovative processing techniques allows Texas farmers to create a diverse array of dairy products enjoyed by consumers across the country. Here is the process of how Texas farmers can earn $1 million a year from raising and processing beef. Beef processing at a food factory is a highly organized and efficient operation. Once cattle are transported to the food factory, they are carefully inspected to ensure they meet health and safety standards. The cattle are then humanely handled, and the meat is processed through various stages in the food factory. This includes cutting, trimming, and packaging the beef, ensuring that each piece of meat meets strict quality standards. Advanced machinery and technology in the food factory streamlines the process, allowing thousands of cattle to be processed efficiently each day. The processed beef is then packaged and labeled at the food factory, ready for distribution to retailers and consumers. Every step in the food factory, from processing to packaging, is designed to maximize efficiency while maintaining the highest standards of hygiene and meat quality, ensuring that the final product is both safe and delicious for consumers.
Thank you for watching the video. Are you having any problems with your livestock farming? Please share your comments and questions. We are ready to answer. If you like our videos, please like, share, subscribe and recommend the channel to your friends so they can watch too. Hello and see you again.